Now, here's a good one about a young guy, I think he's only 21 years old, who handles things just right when he finds out that his girlfriend has a secret job as a dancer. And when I say dancer, I don't mean ballet. She ain't doing Swan Lake on the weekends. She is with the pole. And this guy handles things right by ending it. But of course, you're going to see she uses all the stereotypical shaming tactics to try to make him look bad. And you guys are going to see what I'm talking about here. But the crazy thing is, he established boundaries ahead of time about this type of thing, but she went and did it anyway. Now, I'm going to go over here, guys, making the point that you have to establish boundaries, and if your girl or anybody in your life doesn't respect them, they're out of there. End of story. Titled, Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my girl after she became a dancer without telling me? And a shout out to Ash for sending this story. Guy says here, I'm 21 years old, and my girl, now ex-girlfriend, and I have been together for about 2.5 years. We were serious, talking about moving in together, and I genuinely thought we were on the same page about our future. Well, you thought wrong. Well, notice you say we're about to move in together. So he dodged a big one. Well, when a guy commits to moving in with a girl, that communicates to the girl he's serious. He probably isn't going anywhere. And when a girl gets certainty with a guy, that's usually when BS happens. I knew she was struggling with money since she's a full-time college student with a part-time job that barely covers her expenses. I offered to help her out, but she always refused, saying she wanted to be independent. Oh, okay. Well, let's see how she decides to be independent. How enriching her independent job will be to her life. A few months ago, she casually mentioned, really, the idea of becoming a stripper to make ends meet. I was taken aback and told her flat out that if she ever went down that road, I couldn't stay with her. It wasn't about being judgmental, I just knew I wouldn't be comfortable with it. We talked it out and she seemed to understand where I was coming from. She even said she wouldn't actually do it. Don't tell me you weren't being judgmental. You were obviously being judgmental because no guy wants his girlfriend on the pole unless he owns the club that she's on or whatever. But casually mentioned, no, she very carefully planned how she was going to bring this up because that's what she wanted to do. But everything's okay because she said she understands and she won't do it. Fast forward to a few weeks ago, she started acting distant, always busy and distracted when we were together. Red flags. I didn't think much about it until one of my friends texted me saying he saw her working at a, wait for it, strip club. I was shocked and felt completely blindsided. Yeah, and completely disrespected. There you go. That shows exactly how she feels about this guy. She doesn't respect him at all. And you can't do something like that in this day and age, being a college girl, without somebody noticing and getting back to the boyfriend. I don't think she cared. She obviously didn't care. When I confronted her, she admitted it was true. She said she needed the money and that stripping is just a job for her, nothing more. So is this her being strong and independent? Really, this is the definition of the modern day strong, independent gal? This guy offered to help her. Not that I'm advocate giving your girlfriend money or anything like that. Let me make that clear. But he offered to help her. But no, she'd rather be on the pole and be strong and independent. What a load of crap. If I was her father, I'd be disgraced. I would be, nope, don't come back home. She also claimed she didn't tell me because she knew how I would react. Here we go with the gaslighting and shaming tactics. I reminded her of our earlier conversation where I clearly said this would be a deal breaker for me. She got upset, saying I was, wait for it, being controlling and unsupportive, and that it was her body, her choice. This is not about the A word, the procedure. This is about you going up and flaunting your body for the world. And last time I checked, it isn't just twirling around the pole for guys to put $5 bills in her. We have to upgrade for inflation. It's no longer $1 bills, it's $5 bills in her G-string or something like that. No, there are lap dances and probably, no doubt, other things that go along with this that dancers do. And he knows this. Nope, not happening. Controlling my butt. While I agree that she has the right to make her own decisions, I couldn't get past the fact that she kept something so significant from me, especially after we already discussed it. I felt like she didn't respect my feelings or the boundaries we'd agreed upon, so I broke up with her on the spot. Good for you, brother. Am I the a-hole for breaking up with her after becoming a dancer, especially after I already made my stance clear? Smack! It's the only smack you get for actually asking that question. Bro, no, you're not the a-hole. You made it abundantly clear. This is a deal breaker for me. I don't want my girlfriend doing that, especially when I thought I was building a future with. And not only did she do it, but she knew you were against this and did it anyway. Again, she is a strong and independent woman because she wanted to be independent. And rather than you help her out, she had to go on the pole. I'm sure it wasn't just about the money on being on the pole. It was about the attention and validation. Probably she'll start an OnlyFans. Who knows what she's doing. But you know what? I'm sorry you had to give up a few years of your life with her, but at the end of the day, you had to do what you had to do. Because if you stayed with this, if she wasn't already cheating on you, and I'm sure she probably was, or at least, some sleazy bartender at the strip club or her manager or something was, already something going on, it would happen. And obviously she's been doing this for some time. So she's been already grinding on other dudes and doing Lord knows what. No freaking. I hope certainly she had some mouthwash before you ever kissed her when she came back from work. God damn it. But anyhow, no, you handled it just right. It's over. But, young brother, be very careful that she doesn't show up at your doorstep crying and begging and pleading that you take her back, that she was wrong, it was a mistake when she decides to quit or something. Because, understand something, guys. She knew in her mind she could make this gamble and do this behind his back, thinking that either he wouldn't find out, which is crazy, or B, if he found out, he loves her so much that he'll just accept that. Well, she was wrong. Her bluff failed, okay? But he has to be careful she doesn't come back and try to get him to take her back. I think he's strong enough and smart enough not to fall for that, but we have to mention this here. Because that's all she has to do is bring on the waterworks. And also he's probably going to get a lot of shaming tactics, more of them from her and her friends and all that. But if he knows her family, which I assume he would at this point, he needs to tell them what's going on. So that they don't come back and why'd you break up with her? Don't let her control the narrative, And besides, her parents should know what their daughter's doing, being on the pole. I'm sure they would love that. Now some comments. One guy says here, not the a-hole. Deal breakers come in all forms. You made your feelings abundantly clear. More to the point, she lied to you, which is unacceptable no matter what the topic is. Besides, the environment she has exposed herself comes with so many toxic elements. It's a whole way of life that she is choosing, not just a job. You did the right thing. Even if she quits, I hope you have the strength not to take her back. See? I'm not the only one thinking this. Anyone who can lie to your face for long periods of time with no remorse isn't someone you can or should be with. Yeah, I didn't even approach the issue with the whole lying thing. No problem lying. You can't have a relationship with someone you don't have trust with. It doesn't work that way. And by the way, does she think this guy actually wants a stripper to be the mother of his kids if he was thinking about marrying her? Nope, not happening. Can you imagine that? How'd you and mom get together? Well, college, then mom got on the pole. Another one. She's a hypocrite. She has the nerve to call you controlling while trying to control your feelings and boundaries while she pretends to understand, support, and respect the talk that you both had before she went behind your back. She did this anyway and is mad you are holding her accountable for lying and cross-dealing, breaking boundaries. And she forgot it's your life, body, and choice too, especially if you want to stay with her after she lied to you. So she can say, my body, my choice, and he can say, okay, my life, my choice. And my choice is, I choose not to be with you. A liar, a manipulator, a gal doing that particular thing for a living. No, thank you. You can go hook up with the sleazy bartender at the freaking club. Another one. Funny how ladies think rubbing themselves on other dudes, hard dicks, is a respectable job, and their partner should just accept it, and if you're not, you're just a controlling, chauvinistic pig somehow. She wants to use her body to make money. Good for her. No one is ever the bad guy for not wanting to continue with being with a SCX worker. Exactly. She wants to do that for a living. That's her business. But he doesn't have to be with her. Period. But, of course, he's the big villain in these idiots' eyes. And the thing is, guys, remember about boundaries and standing up for yourself. Whenever guys stand up for themselves or establish boundaries, that's when they're labeled as controlling and insecure and all these other ridiculous things. And typically, weak guys will eventually cave to that, and then they'll get it worse. That's the attempt. But guys with any respect for themselves, they don't fall for the shaming tactics. One more. This is longer, but a good one. This guy says, not the a-hole. Few people will stay with a partner who has turned to sex work, which being a stripper is. As she said, it's 100% her choice as an adult, but you had communicated your boundary for that and what the consequences would be. She did it anyway after telling you she never would. After being a stripper is more than just stripping. It's also lap dances, cuddling up to strangers, and sometimes other things. So it may be her body, but she is openly giving away things that many partners believe should be for their eyes only. That's breaking the boundary, knowing the cost and lying about it. She had to know it would lead to the breakup, thus her being distant. She was both trying to keep from slipping up and trying to distance herself from the relationship. I'm sorry after all that time she took the route, but at least you weren't engaged or married. Anyway, and it didn't move in with her, thank God. He dodged the big one. Just be prepared for her to come back to you in tears saying she has quit and will never do it again. You need to ask yourself now if what she did has broken your trust beyond repair. It has. Also, if you have been with her that long, her parents may also reach out to you to ask what happened. If they do, be completely honest with them. Don't just say didn't work out. If she's going to do it, when she should be fine with people knowing, except future employers, of course, because it'll be a deal breaker for some of them also. She has completely screwed herself, no pun intended, screwed herself, well maybe it is intended, she's screwed herself with future employment because nowadays you can find out anything about anyone. And when someone finds out that's this employee for whatever job may be in the future, if she goes down that path, find out she used to be this line of work, nope, next. Although, depending on who's doing the hiring, it could be a guy, and you can be thinking, okay, I'll hire a former dancer / something else. Who knows? But anyhow, he handled it right. And all for the guys out there listening to this, your girlfriend, you find out she's doing something like this, or OnlyFans, or putting her body on display online, or whatever boundary she crosses, you have a right to walk away. And if anybody gives you a hard time about it, tell them to F off.